Hi everybody, thanks for joining me. This is my Bits and Bobs Progress episode 43. I've got a bit of a start this week already. I stitched this lace collar down so it's all ready to be sewn on top of. And I already appliqued with a blind stitch this feature. I have, I think, 6 of these on the quilt. I use them, I call them folded frames, and I use them to feature some of my absolute favorite fabrics that I wanted to include on this quilt. So that, I love this blue and white one here, and the blue with the star one has been in my fabric stash for forever, and I use it sparingly because I just love it so much. I also tucked under earlier a prairie point using this fabric. I only had a little bit of it, and by folding it into this triangle I was able to include it on this quilt, and I just tucked it under. It's loose, but it was stitched when I appliqued the folded frame. The only thing I have left to do here is to do the over stitching of the embroidery, and that won't take me long. So I think as an extra thing, because this block will be next, because it's, when I looked originally, like I think a week ago or so, I had it like that, and I didn't mean to have it like that because I prefer to have it like this. So the book block is going to be under the boot block, so that one's coming next. But over up in the top left corner, I still have some buttons to tie on from the pink bow block plus. I added my crazy quilt heart and some hexie flowers up there. They're basted there, but I haven't stitched them down yet, so I think I might try and make progress on that and get that done. We'll see. So yeah, that's where I am. Plus, in a separate segment of this video, I was able to I got to go to town again this week, and my favorite thing to do in town is hit the thrift shop. So I did, and I share with you what I found. So that's coming in a few seconds. All right, I will make some progress. See you in a few seconds with my treasures that I got from the thrift store. I thought I'd share what I got to go to town again. And I got to go to my thrift store. So I thought I'd share what I got this week from this week, like I go all the time. It's usually only a couple times a year, but this spring this is my second time already. Okay. So the total, I don't know the individual prices because they don't always price things, so you kind of gotta wonder. They're cheap. They very low prices, but this whole what's in this basket I'm about to show you came to $14. So the biggest price thing was $3, and I'm pretty sure it's this, but $3 for what I got here, I'm good with that. And everything else was $1.50, including the baskets, which I'll talk about in a sec. Okay, this is very stained, and here, not putting on your dining room table per se kind of tablecloth, but all the hand embroidery that it contains that I can guilt-free cut up and cut out and continue to treasure is very yeah, and $3. Somebody hand embroidered all of this, but it does have much staining on it. I didn't even look to see if it had stains. I just was going to get it regardless. It's got a very pretty wreath of pink and blue flowers. And then each corner has this. Lovely. I mean, again, stained, but lots that isn't stained that I can harvest. That one's broken. But even this yellow frame is lovely and has potential. Again, see what I mean? So, $3. I'm actually surprised to see that it was for sale, because sometimes they don't like to put things that have stains in that. But this must be something that sells because of the, you know, people that repurpose them. So maybe they know that, and that's why they put it up for sale. I'm not really sure. I didn't discuss with the lady. Okay, I got 2 little plastic baskets. I'm happy to find those because they're just, and I know they didn't charge me more than 50 cents. They're just great for organizations. This one has this handle that is supposedly removable, but I've not been able to get it out of there yet. But even if not, I'll cut it off, because I didn't want the handle to begin with. It's not, it's wonky. And yeah, I don't need a handle. So, but this is a great and favorite color, green, and nice and deep too. Then I also got, linen wise, this little hanky. I mostly got it because of this corner. I thought that was lovely. And again, it would have been 50 cents, I'm sure, for that. And I got this doily too, which I'm happy to have, because other than circles, rectangles and other shapes are always fun to play with. So that made me happy. And then my little basket of goodies. They colored embroidery cotton, not embroidery cotton, sorry, crochet cotton. And a little baggie of embroidery floss. I looked for that other package of those. I might be said that when I bought those flosses the last time, they weren't floss. The cotton threads. There were 2 packages, and I had left one behind, but it was gone, so somebody else scooped it. But yeah, I got these to add to my thread collection. I'm always happy to add threads. I like this gold one. And then I was quite surprised. I found this first, glass beads. And then there were more beads. I just had to start digging through some of the little drawers. So this is an interesting, contains some interesting shapes and things, and they're all glass too. I was encouraged when I saw the one glass thing, because I thought, well, maybe somebody who had glass beads donated a bunch of beads, and I got a bunch of glass beads. So then there's those. And again, they're 50 cents, I think, I'm sure. This maybe she charged me $1 for, but other than that. And then these I also got. I almost didn't get that because I didn't see what she charged me for it, but the little container's handy anyways. So yeah, black and white and a clear. Again, glass. You can tell by the weight. And then they had this in the drawer too. It's very almost like, well, I wouldn't call it, maybe it is a kind of sea glass. It's sea glass type-ish kind of bead, and in really nice purpley blues. So I was pleased with that as well. And another little basket. All right, hope you don't, yeah, I hope you're interested in seeing this kind of stuff. I know I have fun watching other people's treasures they find. I am up at the top left corner, and I'm working on my little bow buttons again. And I did it. It's okay, but this floss that I used is separating too much, and I'm not loving the shagginess of that. So that made me go and dig into my box. I remembered the thicker cotton threads that I had gotten a few weeks ago that I did a tea dye experiment with. So I thought, oh, I've got a white one of that. Oops. But I wasn't really using white. It's kind of a cream, and this is too white, so that's not going to work. So then I dug a little more and thought, well, maybe the one I tea dyed, but it's a little salmony for this. And then the pink is too pink. So then I dug into my pearl cotton again. And I know I said I prefer not to use pearl cotton, but this one's pretty thin and it's pretty good with color. And it's pretty much all I got, and that's kind of the rule. I'm not allowed to just go out and buy. I mean, I am allowed to collect from thrift shops and from, you know, sometimes I get stuff from other people, but that I'm allowed. But I'm not allowed to go specifically out to buy thread that is perfect for this. So anyways, I'm gonna do my bows with that. And I tried a couple of different thicknesses to get the bows equal, and I found the pen was the one that worked best for this size. The Sharpie was a little too thick, and the little tool I used for my silk ribbon embroidery, it was too thin. I guess I could have them here to show you. Anyways, the other thing, I did finish the embroidery on the folded frame. And here's another folded frame, by the way. Yeah, I've had the quilt turned over, so I also got going on getting the crazy quilt heart down, and it's stitched now, appliqued to it. I'm going to take a stitch on each of these points of the cotton trim. It's not really lace. And then I'm adding the Hexie flowers to the piece as well, and I have this to show you. This is my March 2025 Let's Play mini quilt, and I did these Hexie flowers for it, which I love, and the leaves and the center. So I'm duplicating that here with these three, and I have a darker blue floss that's going to be crossed in the center of the circles, and I have the same fabric as the center to make some leaves, and I'm going to do the same kind of embroidery on those leaves here. Just the leaves are just raw edged, so are the center circles. It's kind of makes it charming. So that I'm still working on, but I'm loving my progress. And then the only other thing that it's maybe not important, I'm not a big let's go out and buy kind of person. I do sometimes at the thrift store. Anyways, all my embroidery floss I love to put on cards, because then I get to put them in my little drawers and see the different colors. What I do is I take the label and I tuck it under so that I always can look to see exactly what that was. And if I don't have the label, then that's okay too. One of the big things about me, it's not like I have a craft store 5 minutes away. For me to get to the local craft store, it's an expensive cab ride to the town next door, maybe. And yes, you can do it all online, but again, why? I can make my own. So when I started this quilt, I talked about organizing my flosses in the schoolhouse section of there's a whole bits and bobs section. That's all from the very beginning. I've been sort of talking about it, and my members have access to that. Members of my website. So I made this up for myself, and members of my website can download this for free if that you want, but you don't need this either. Using scraps of cardstock and sometimes old greeting cards, you could trace one of the bobbins that you already have, or you just cut a rectangle and then cut out a little bit so that you have place to wrap your fabric. And it's so easy to do, and it's a great way to organize your floss if you feel like it. I already these are what I got at the thrift store, and I've already got them ready to be put in their drawers. All right, that's it for this section. I will come at least one more time before I sign off. I'll share this, and then I'll show you the other part too. Did you ever have one of those weeks where you seem to get way more done than another week or another day? And it's the same amount of time in the week and the day, but somehow you get more progress done. Well, I've had one of those weeks, which is lovely. I got a bunch of stuff done outside. I've got a bunch of stitching done, so my progress is great this week. Yeah, but it's the same amount of hours as I had last week, so I'm not really sure how that accounts for it. But anyways, here's what I got done. So buttons are on the four corners, and I ended up using the pearl cotton. I like it. It's good. I didn't go with the bow. It just, yeah, the tie I'll do. I'm happy with it. The bow was almost too fussy to do, and then four of them, and then also too fussy to keep because of how slightly slippery the pearl cotton is. All right, and crazy quilted heart and the hexagon flowers and the leaves all finished. I'll bring that up to the camera so you can see. Very nice. I'm very pleased with how that turned out, and it's a nice place for it to be on the quilt. So these are my bonus dues. I also, let me turn this and flip it and all of that. All right. So I got this collar stitched down, and I also finished this folded frame, including the embroidery. So I'm pleased with that. The next block, as we're going around the outer edge, is the book. This keeps changing around, but I really do prefer it this way. There, see, some of it's slightly movable. Okay, so the book will be what I'm stitching down next. And that's it for this week. Thanks a lot for watching and your interest, and like and comment, of course, if you're able and inspired to. And I always love hearing from you. For those who have left messages, thank you. And yeah, happy stitching this week. I'll be posting another video, I hope, next week. Till then.